Welcome to another episode of Red Lotus Life. I am really excited today because we're going to talk very candid about integration and the importance of integration. So, I'd like to go ahead and introduce my beautiful co-host here, Sara Elizabeth Hoffman.
Mhm.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm also excited about this conversation today and just the importance of integration and as we transition through the levels of the spiral, actually.
hmm Yeah, it's been a hot topic and it's been really, really cool. I guess I should probably share that here at Red Lotus Life, if you're new, this is where we provide resources and tools to create a life that you love. We are spiral practitioners. I'm an advanced spiral practitioner. Sara Elizabeth she is a spiral practitioner and womb spiral prac, which is really, really cool. This last round of group spiral has been fascinating having you do it with me and collaborating on it with me because holy moly, we have discovered timelines in the womb.
We have discovered timelines in the womb, and also especially given that we're working with twins and whole like yeah, just mind blowing what's happening through the quantum where healing is concerned.
I know.
It's fascinating to witness, and it's never been done before, at least with using the tools of the spiral. So
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, we're literally like I'm in conversations trying to find out like has anyone worked in this way with identical twins because it's been super fun. Like it's been crazy. So, integration has been a hot topic as you and I have been um, working together and collaborating with the group Spiral. And then also, as I've reached out to different people who have been doing this work for a long time, like Dane Thomas, the creator, and his mother, his sister, and also the owners of the Spiral School, it's been really fun to like ask about it because yeah, we're working with identical twins. We're literally seeing the integration process on such a different level that yeah, we thought it was important to talk about it today. So I kind of wanted to go into it just to give people an idea, and then we can go ahead and start our conversation because we never know where our conversations are going to go.
true. That's fair.
Okay, so going back to Spiral. Okay, so the Spiral, it's amazing, it's awesome. I mean, we cannot talk about it enough, the transformation that happens in the Spiral. I just want to give a brief overview. You can go on the website. There's a whole video that I do. It really goes into details with it. So I just want to do like an overview so that you'll understand. So the Spiral, it has 7 levels, okay? And there's different themes and emotions that we're working with and imprints that we work with for each level. And what we've noticed, this importance of integration, it doesn't matter, integration doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're working on your health. It doesn't matter if you're doing a medicine ceremony or working, with medicine or anything. That integration period, even if you're going to like self-help seminars or anything, it's so important for the integration process to happen before we start into the next thing because we really have to land. We have to land and embody this new way of being that we just learned about, shifted, broke neural pathways, created new, whatever that is. So, with the spiral, originally, you can actually do spiral sessions within 7 days of each other. However, the way that we work and how we specialize in domestic violence and abuse and trauma, right? We specialize in trafficking, all these things. It's like we're working with the deep work. We're doing the deep work. And sometimes it's trauma specific, even like it depends on the intention. And some people are working on things that may not be so trauma specific. And other people are like, yeah, actually, I want to work on the things that happened to me and what I've experienced and things like that, what my childhood was like, whatever that might be. So, as we've been doing this work in this way, and I say it with just the biggest smile on my face because when we learn, actually, let me, okay, so not when we learn, but what we witness as our clients start to move through the spiral and the transformation that happens, there's just something it's totally different than when we do it just within the 7 days. We've found this sweet spot that's about 3 weeks, actually, the sweet spot where someone is in a level where they full on begin to transform. They full on begin to embody the level they get to. They're implementing. So not only are they integrating the session, but now they're implementing new ways of being. And what they're discovering, which is fun for us as pracs because we can see it happening as we work through with them, they start to realize that they're transitioning into the next level. And so that is why we're talking about the importance of integration, because if you're just like boom, 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 going to the next thing, doesn't matter what that is. Like I said, you could be working with your personal trainer at the gym. You could be going to a Tony Robbins seminar. You could be going, it doesn't matter, like plant medicine ceremony, whatever that is. If you're not fully integrating what you just learned, what you just experienced, really breaking that neural pathway, breaking that loop, that pattern, and now implementing and embodying, you're just going to continue the patterns, you're going to continue the loops. And that is the work that we're seeing here as they begin to implement, is that doing that just literally keeps you at a state of survival. Like when we're constantly, our nervous system is like, oh, something else is changing. Ooh, something else is shifting. Ooh, what's that over here? We're squirreling out in all the different areas. But when we take time to fully experience what it is that we're working with, whatever that might be, and then now we start implementing to create the new neural pathways, now we're embodying things in a different way of being. And then that is what creates real change. That is what creates the transformation. And when we're working with the different levels, like we just went group spiral, we're in the middle of group spiral right now. We just went from level 4 into level 5. Level 4 was all about openness. It was all about reason, acceptance, love. I mean, the statement for that level is I love myself. We actually did a like was it like 2 episodes ago, or the last episode was really talking about the embodiment and what was happening there.
Hmm.
But now we're transitioned into level 5. And so it's kind of fun because level 5 is totally different vibe. It's about expression. The emotions we work with are anxiety, it's low self-esteem, it's confidence, totally different than like self-love, right? Because now I'm okay with expressing myself unapologetically. I mean, like that's level 5, totally different. But what we've noticed as this round of the group spiral has, well, what they've noticed, because we notice it, what they notice is they're like, oh my gosh, I've already started to transition into this level. And they start to notice that. And it's like, that is when the new neural pathway has been created. That's when the new way of being has happened. And it's like, now this is why the spiral is so transformational.
Exactly. It is why the spiral is so transformational. And so what happens is as we're transitioning into that next level, we begin to witness people's souls sort of like they want to move forward, they're ready to move forward, and they're having all of these sort of recalibrations that are happening in the body, and they're not quite sure what that is yet because we actually don't allow, or we don't have people look at the next level and the themes for the next level until just before their session. So it's always so fascinating. This has been my experience. It was Lori's experience, and we witness it every single time we take someone through the spiral, that as we start to really fully implement, integrate, create those new neural pathways, we're now transitioning into that next level before we even realize it. Our bodies are already ready. Our energetic bodies are already transitioning, or really our 5 bodies. They're already transitioning and starting to experience all of those themes around the next level. It's truly something to experience as you are moving through the chakras, as those chakras are being cleared, as your meridians are being cleared, you're feeling that energy begin to move up into those pathways. It's pushing out blockages, right? We're pushing out those energetic blockages so that now we can create something different. And we actually feel those symptoms. Our clients feel those symptoms, and they're like, "Oh, is something wrong?" No, nothing's wrong. As long as we're checking in with our bodies and making sure that there aren't any other symptoms that are coming along with it. Like usually, we can establish that it's just those chakras and meridians being unblocked, and that energy is now allowed to move.
Hey,
So
I'm going to interrupt you real quick. Will you just check your microphone? I can't tell if it's rubbing on something or, and then we can, it's all good. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Oh, okay.
is that better?
Oh yeah, that's better. I can hear you better and everything. So thank you. But
Okay.
yeah, I love that you even, you're bringing that up because people do say that, right? They're like, "Oh, I'm experiencing some different symptoms here. So what is that? Like what's going on here?" And some of the symptoms right now are like taste. They can taste something in their mouth. They can
Mhm.
because level 5 is all about, this area. It's about the throat chakra, it's about the throat, the tongue, the jaw, all of that stuff. And so what happens whenever now we're releasing these blockages, right? The blocks that are blocking basically the energy, the meridian flow, all of that, the chi, everything else. Now all of a sudden it's like, whoa, things taste different. But the taste was it wasn't a pleasant taste, which is also really cool because what happens with the spiral is clear senses end up being activated in that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And not only that, but we can actually correlate the imprints, the organs, the elements, and the emotion for each anchor, for each clear, for each level to those symptoms or those
Mhm.
things that are being experienced. Like for example, during level 5, someone had a clear that was actually in the spleen. Actually, every single anchor for the entire level was moving through the the throat chakra. It either
Mm.
stopped at the throat chakra or it connected to the throat chakra in some way. And so now all of a sudden, like especially the spleen is directly related to taste. And so now she's having all of these experiences with the senses and taste and smell, right? And so, yeah, like the clairgustance is coming on board. The clairsalience, which is clear smelling, is coming on board because all of that has been all of those energetic blocks have been um, I wanted to say removed, but that's not, I guess removed is fine. That works as well. But they've been cleared. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Those
they're just
energetic.
the blockages are just in flow. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the energy is moving smoothly.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's fascinating what happens. Like another symptom that we were just experiencing with the group was, someone was like, I'm kind of dizzy after stuff like that. But all of the imprints actually had to do with like the crown, right? Like the crown, or it was in the governing meridian, which is the crown and all of
Hmm.
that, the masculine energy, the spirit, like all these things. So what's cool about this is that our session was last week. So our session was last week. In the second week, we get in touch with everyone, and like when we work with us, it's full support because we we go deep. We go as deep as our clients want to go. And so we have full support there available for them. And so it was interesting to hear that because if we would have done like the 7 days, because it actually hasn't been 7 days for that person yet. But if we now he gets to understand his session a little more, understand what exactly he's feeling. This is the embodiment part that we're talking
Yeah.
about. He gets to understand that a little more. And then he gets to do the integration activities so that he's now landed and grounded in his body. But how cool is that? That now all of a sudden that is what's free, right? That is what's free flowing is this channel to higher self. So anyway, super cool.
So something that I'd like to add to this particular client's experience that Lori was just speaking about is that, you know, well, let me start here. Every single person experiences every single level of the spiral in a different way. It's very unique, it's very nuanced to each individual. This particular person felt like he kind of breezed through level 4, right? And he's like, oh, I don't really know what's going on. I don't know if it's working. You know, if it doesn't feel like it's really intense, which I guess is a really masculine trait anyway, right? It has to be really intense. It has to feel hard or it's not working. And so, you know, that he was expressing that. And now, as he was transitioning to level 5, he's starting to feel that intensity and he's starting to have these symptoms in the physical body. And he's like, I don't understand like what's happening here, because he was already transitioning into level 5 pretty early because level 4 was so easy for him. He's very open-hearted, very emotional naturally anyway. So now where is that intensity coming from for level 5? So what it ends up being is that actually, yes, he's very open hearted, but he's not speaking, he's not expressing using his throat chakra what is on his heart. So just an example of, you know, things that can come up for people as they are transitioning and then moving into the next level.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always super fun because it is so unique. It's so unique and so nuanced for each person. It depends
Mm-hmm.
on the person, it depends on their intention and everything. And so some levels can feel like, wow, okay, yeah, this can be intense. And other levels, it's like, oh, I just breezed through that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just depends on where your specific blockages are and, you know, what your individual life experiences have been, and even, you know, what generational and ancestral patterns have come up. What conditioning did you come into this world with? You know, going back to your point about having so many clears that actually are happening in the womb and creating those timelines.
Mhm. Well, I want to bring us back to integration and the importance of integration because when we are experiencing all of this, it's like now, like, yeah, we have these symptoms, we have, or we're just noticing something different, right? And if we're already breezing through to the next session, it's like our nervous system is a little bit fried still. And so whenever we're talking about like that survival mode. So if someone is going from seminar to seminar to seminar, plant ceremony to plant ceremony, that type of thing. Even moving from like personal trainer to personal trainer to personal, like I feel like so many people can probably resonate with this of, well, that didn't work for me. And I think I fully believe that it's because whatever it was that someone was um, working with, whatever that might be, that they haven't actually embodied it. They haven't implemented it to where they can actually experience the change. And I think that goes back to the neural pathways of what we're talking about, of like breaking the neural pathways, creating new ones, because it's when we actually create the new ones. And now we are living that way of being, making those decisions, implementing that way, that lifestyle, whatever that might be, that is actually now where we're strengthening. And then this is where we start to actually experience true change.
Yeah, it is. And this is where taking those inspired actions where integration is concerned comes into play. We want to be taking those inspired actions in order to create a completely and totally new neural pathway so that we can have a different experience moving forward. Those inspired actions being integration activities, right? Those are the things that are going to create a new focus, is what I'd like to share. It's creating a new focus. It's creating momentum in a different way that's going to now create a new imprint and a new pattern for you. And so, the more that we implement and the more that we continue to actually take steps, we're conditioning ourselves to show up in a different way by
Mm-hmm.
continuing to take those steps, those
Mm-hmm.
inspired actions.
Yeah, so let's get back to like nervous system regulation. What have you seen or even experienced yourself where you see yourself jumping from one thing to the other and not actually implementing like what you learned? I mean, I have so many examples.
Well, the thing that was coming to mind that I see often just in the collective, generally speaking, and I think you would probably resonate with this, but I think it's diet to diet. You were just talking about personal trainers and different exercise routines and stuff like that. I think that when we are not sticking with a certain way of eating for a prolonged period of time, we give up. And then what happens? We don't attain our goals, right? So I think that's like a really simple example
Mhm.
that everyone can resonate with. But then when we're talking about moving through the spiral, in the past, I have experience going through really, really quickly. And what happens is while it is still working, it is definitely still working, but things become confusing and your nervous system does become overwhelmed and it takes a while for the body to recalibrate and really come back to a place of regulation.
Hmm. Yeah, because out of the five bodies, like that's the one that's the most dense and it's the one that takes the longest to catch up. But that's
Mm-hmm.
also where it's actually the body that creates the real change. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally at a cellular level that the body has to change in order for us to have a different way of being. I'm glad that you brought up like the diet to diet, right? So, um, this is a great example, I feel, because if we're just getting into a diet and it's a new way of eating, it's a new way of shopping, cooking, all the things, it gets until it's hard, right? It's hard, it's uncomfortable, it's like planning. You have to just live a different way. And when it gets hard or it's not convenient, then all of a sudden, okay, we're not going to do that, we're just going to order pizza, right? Or something like that. And so we never actually, and then all of a sudden now we're back, we are now strengthening the neural pathway that we were actually trying to break. Instead of sticking with it, it's when it's hard, that's actually when it's breaking. That's where the pattern's breaking, is when it's hard and you're choosing something different. Is literally in that decision, the act of deciding that we're going to do something different, that the new
Mm-hmm.
neural pathway begins and gets created. But now we have to continue to keep making those decisions to now strengthen the new neural pathway. So that was a perfect example.
I feel like it's definitely one, like I said, that everybody can resonate with and something that, you know, over the years throughout my life, I've definitely experienced that myself. And it's like, oh, it's not working. It's too hard. Can't get to the grocery store to do all of the meal prep and everything. And, then, like you said, we're just creating this, we're doing the same thing, repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And that doesn't create change. So, this is where, again, that preparation, the implementation, motivation, all of those things come into play because if we actually want to create change, then we have to be consistent. We have to take those steps.
Yeah. It's funny because I even sit here and go, okay, so I mean, I feel like I have these conversations all day long, right? And it's like, it's cool because the mental body, right? The mental body, the ego mind, the sole purpose of that is to make sure that we survive, right?
Mhm.
That we're not going to die. And so if we bring and anything that's uncomfortable, it starts to get into like, oh, this is where all the negative thought patterns start to come in. This is too hard. I don't have time. It's not convenient. It's this and that, like going back to the diet, right? Going back to that and a healthier way of living or a healthier way of eating. But the second that we make that decision and we go, no, you know what? I'm worthy of this. I want to nourish my body. I want to take care of my body. I want to feel better. I want to, all the things, right? It comes down to self-love and self-care. And like the second that the mind gets on board with that, now it goes into that inspired action that you were just talking about. And so
Mhm.
that's also what's really fun about doing this work with the spiral and slowing it down because that's what we do. We take it, and yes, you can go through it really quickly. Like I said, the way that the spiral is every 7 days is a session. But when we're doing the deep work and we actually want to experience the transformation, it's like now we do that like slow down. We actually look at all the things that are making it uncomfortable, right? Or making us feel uncomfortable. The mental body gets on board first. We get the
Yeah.
mental body, that's the one that shifts. And then the second that you can shift, now it's like everything else shifts as well. So we have like the five bodies that we work with: mental, emotional, energetic, physical, and spiritual. Spiritual is always on board. That's the one just like
Yeah.
higher self is like, finally, finally, right? Energetic, pretty much always on board. I feel like the one thing, as soon as we see this is what spiral does, we start to see like, where's our energy leaks? Where are we investing our energy or giving our power away in that way or whatever it is, right? Where are we investing? Where are we actually where is it depleted, the leaks, all that. And so as soon as that, like that's pretty quick, I feel. After a session, we start to see it. And then so that happens pretty quickly. Emotional, that can be a little bit of a because we're
Mhm.
responding versus reacting now. And then the mental body is like, as soon as we make that decision, no, oh, okay, it's in our awareness now. We're going to make a different decision. But it's the physical body that goes, oh,
Uh,
yeah. What's this taste? Why am I dizzy? What is this and that? But then as soon as we, had the conversation, we go, oh, okay, yeah, this is why. And we can relate it back to the session. Now the mental mind is on board, and then inspired action usually takes place. And then now here's the integration piece, right? Of like slowing it down, integration, and now oh, okay. So now I can use this tool, this integration activity, anytime I feel dizzy. And it's actually not something to be concerned with, but it's actually like oh, okay. This has to do with the crown. This has to do with the direct channel to self, higher self, and our higher power and all of that, which we may not have experienced before. In fact, in these situations, with it being in the womb, they haven't.
Mhm.
They're creating a new reference point.
Completely new reference point. Yeah. And one of the other things that I'd like to speak to where the mental body is concerned, even talking about the reference point, is that as we almost immediately, I would say, within levels 1 and 2, the mental body actually has a significant shift in that we are now becoming the observer. And so, because we're slowing down the process, we can now observe how we're responding versus reacting, right? Or how we're reacting versus responding. And I think that's one of the more um, goodness gracious words words today. The more fascinating things to witness, I guess, is what I'll say, is that when we actually witness people slowing down, becoming the observer, they're now able to actually hear, they're hearing all of those thoughts, all of those emotions, all of those repressed things that haven't been spoken. Again, like we're working with level 5. So now we're beginning to see, hear, just notice, observe all of those things that we haven't expressed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite things about really, really slowing it all down, because once we're able to actually observe all of those things, then that makes it a lot easier to get the mental body on board and be like, okay, no, this is not actually what I'd like to create, or actually this is what I would love to express instead that hasn't actually been expressed.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, it's not kind of fun. Level 5 is my favorite level of all time. So it's like I love it. So much happens in this level. But one of the things that's really cool is that, yeah, there's all these repressed parts of you that you haven't, like, feelings, right? Like repressed feelings that you're like, wow, I didn't even know that I felt this way, or I
Yeah.
didn't even know, it's always one of those, wow, that really makes me angry. Oh, that really makes me sad. Oh, that's, this and that, whatever. But the other cool part about this is that now this is also where excitement comes in and joy comes in and
Hmm.
anticipation and things like that, because we're not waiting for the other shoe to drop. Now we're connecting with those feelings in a different way too, of like, oh, I didn't even know that I had joy around this. I didn't know I had excitement around this. Now I can actually be free and actually be in the moment, present moment, because I'm not future tripping on, well, things are just too good right now. So I'm too nervous to be happy. Like I can't enjoy this moment right now because what's going to come? It always comes, like something else is going to happen, and that actually pulls you out of the present moment. And so that's actually super fun when we see people that connect in with those emotions too in a totally different way, because now this is where they start to create this life that they love. And whenever
Yeah.
something does, life happens. Challenges happen. It's where our growth happens. So it does, that's not even a big thing. It's more of like now, because they can tap into this joy, this is where we find the beauty and the magic in the moment, regardless of what's happening around us. So that's always fun too, to see people go, holy cow, especially after level 4 of the heart opening, right? And going, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, like I'm actually excited. And I can express that before, where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, is this not appropriate? Or what else is going to happen?
Yeah, right. And it goes back to that reference point that you were speaking about. Like, just take joy for example. We get to create the new reference point for what joy actually is. And this is something that actually came up really big for me in my own personal experience. And I love witnessing others as they are creating those new reference points for themselves, because it's like, what once could only be felt from something that was happening externally is now actually experienced. We have that reference point for experienced joy from the inside. It's coming from your heart and not only, elicited from others.
Mhm. Yep. And then that's when we start to see the true, authentic self shine through and expressed in all the ways.
Yeah,
Oh, I just love this work so much. It's so good.
it is. I'm grateful every single day that this is the work that we get to do.
I know. It's so fun. Was there anything else that you wanted to share about integration or slowing it down or the level 5 expression, anything like that?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we are too. So if anyone has any questions, please drop them in the comments. We can talk about this all day, every day. We invite we invite the conversations. If you'd like to learn more about the spiral, there, like I said, there's actually a ton of information out there on the website and everything else. Um, We are accepting. We are now getting ready to start the next round of Spiral. Not start it. We are accepting applications for the next round of Group Spiral. So if you are interested, we'll put the link down below. And, if you're curious about this work, because, it's one of those things that honestly, until you experience it yourself, you're not going to understand like the fullness of this work and how fast and quick and transformational it is and how quickly you can be living a different life. Like today we could do a session and next week you're living differently. So we do
Yeah.
have community classes. That's Lunar Journeys. It's awesome, amazing, affordable if you're into the moon and cosmos and healing in that way. We love that one. And then
Gene
also,
Keys.
yeah. Oh, and Gene Keys. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Say Yes to Soul is like where we do our own work right alongside with you. It's how we're able to be fully grounded and anchored and centered in who we are. And if you wanted to try that, we have a code too called Say Yes, and we'll put that into the comments as well or into the description. So you can use that just to try it out and see what you think. That's a really fun place for us too. I mean, Say Yes to Soul.
Yeah.
It's where we literally say yes.
We say yes and create a life that we love, and we do it right along with you.
Yeah, it's super fun. So, anything else that you wanted to say before we close it up?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Well, let us know if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Bye.
And live your life today.